Ooh, hello, hyperspace. My name is Davontos, and it's time to get hyped because this is some Call of Duty Remastered, and this is an old gameplay. I actually played this today. It's actually a really good game. And speaking of this being a really good game, I wanted to make this a Davontos Thoughts videos, but I wanted to talk about Call of Duty in general. Now, when you look at Call of Duty as a whole, everybody knows it's going downhill. Right now, Cold War is the newest thing. Cold War is going downhill, kind of being ignored by Treyarch, and the stuff that Treyarch is pumping into Cold War ain't that great. Modern Warfare 2019 was huge. Cold War kind of going downhill. I see this happen all the time. Infinity Ward makes a really good COD. Treyarch comes along to kind of kill it, and then Infinity Ward comes back and they kind of bring it back up again. This is an up and down cycle. It happens every single year. I mean, other than the Infinite Warfare year, but besides that, always happens. But that's beyond the point. I'm just going according to my opinion and what I see what happens within the COD community. But anyway, most people are playing Cold War and MW 2019, and those are the newest iterations of Call of Duty. If you actually go back and you play the older Call of Duties, like Modern Warfare Remastered, maybe some of you want to hop back on Modern Warfare 2, good luck with the hackers, Black Ops 1, so on and so forth, but if you actually get into a lobby that doesn't have any hackers, or if you play Modern Warfare Remastered, which so far I haven't found any hackers, so it still plays out like an old school COD, if you play the old CODs, they're better than the new CODs. And the reason I say this is because you can see it, you can feel it. You're not going to feel it within your first game, but if you keep playing a lot and you get used to it, you're going to wind up picking it up and noticing these things. And the old Call of Duties, they're very strategic. The matches play out better, the maps are better, because the old CODs, and I'll just use Modern Warfare Remastered as an example, this and Modern Warfare 2, this was the time when Call of Duty peaked. This was the time that everybody was playing COD, and there was a reason for that. Because it was so good. And there's a reason now why Call of Duty is dying off. It's not because people are getting tired of it, it's because the direction that the company's taking their games. Now Call of Duty is more of an arena shooter. The maps are parallel, they're all about balance. You don't have those broken guns no more. You know, let me use like Black Ops Cold War, you know, there's some new guns that's coming in, and even if they do add new guns, they make sure it's balanced. And they don't want to have that OP gun. But that's what made the old Call of Duties fun. Don't you guys remember back in Modern Warfare 2? You had those people running around in interventions, quick scoping, getting one-shot kills like no tomorrow, and it was fun because you knew this dude's a beast with the intervention, and he's like a straight-up boss character. So you have to try hard, you have to do whatever you can to kill this boss character, and once you did it, it felt like such an accomplishment. You gotta use the environment because the maps are sloppy. You gotta use your own guns. Sometimes you use the broken guns like the intervention, the MP, UMP-45, or Modern Warfare Remastered case, the M16, but you had all these broken guns, and because they're broken, it's fun. You know, you used an overpowered M16. You get that one burst kill, and you know it's cheap. You know it's cheesy, but it's also satisfying, because you can't do this stuff in the other Call of Duties. And you know the other guy gets angry at you for it, but you say to yourself, you know, what you gonna do? I have a broken gun. And you see he's trying really hard to take you out, but he just can't. And then he pulls out his own M16 and comes out to a overpowered, you know, one burst kill gunfight, and that's where you have to start thinking, gotta use cover, gotta use the environment, where do I position myself, where is he coming from? But you can't do that in the new Call of Duties. In Modern Warfare 2019, in Cold War, the maps are parallel. There's a lot of invisible barriers, that's like a thing in the new Call of Duties. There's a lot of invisible barriers, and because of that, you can't really use the environment to its fullest potential. On top of that, you look at how they designed the newer maps in the newer Call of Duties, and they made it so you can't be cheap. Let's say, for example, in the old Call of Duties, head glitching was a thing. In the new Call of Duties now, you can't head glitch because, let's say if you want to head glitch behind a barrel, in the old CODs, the barrel was just high enough to head glitch and be cheesy. In the new ones, they made the barrel just the right height, so if you're standing up, it's all the way down to your stomach, and if you're crouching, it covers your line of sight, so you can't head glitch, therefore you can't be cheap, so you can't use strategies, techniques, and even camping. Camping was huge in the old Call of Duty. I know you're saying camping's not a technique, but it was fun. Remember a state, that wooden cabin in Modern Warfare 2, that level? That was a camping level, and that was everybody's favorite level. Everybody would fight for the big cabin on top of the hill. Once you got hold of the cabin, you gotta just lock it down. Place your claymores, place your C4s, you got patrollers with shotguns running around the halls, you got snipers peeking out the windows, and everybody just had to hold down the fort, or hold down the cabin, for as long as they can. While everybody on the outside had to take care of the snipers, and then they have to try to find a way to sneak in and stealthily take out them shotgun users, and it was really fun. You can't do that in the new Call of Duties now. Even when they bring back old maps, they make sure the old maps they do bring back are the ones that's parallel, like Nuketown, like firing range. And they do bring back, let's say, firing range, but they make little modifications so it plays out like a newer map. Because the old school firing range does not play out like the firing range from Black Ops 4. They look the same, but because of the slight moderations, they play differently. Not to mention some of the equipment that they give you in the newer Call of Duties that just make it less of a strategic gun-and-gun play and more of a let me run around like a chicken with my head cut off kind of gameplay. Let me actually compare Modern Warfare Remastered to what's a newer Call of Duty? Black Ops 4. Okay, in Modern Warfare Remastered, you know there's a camper, right? And you gotta think, how can I approach that camper? Do I flashbang and then do I go inside? Do I go in full force through the front door? Do I try to snipe him from a distance? There's a lot of things that come into play. But if you try doing this in, let's say, Black Ops 4, as I said, and you know there's a camper there, and you don't know how to approach the camper, just take recon, and then use your X-ray vision, and you see him through the wall. Or use your little sticky dart, and you see his position. Therefore, it's just a no-brainer how to go in, how to take him out. You don't think, you just put your little sticky dart, breach, get the kill, and that's it. It's less strategic and more chaotic, and because of that, it becomes a no-brainer, and it's not as good as it could be.
Oh, but Davontos is just complaining about the new Call of Duties because he's old school. He hates the new Call of Duties because he's getting older. He can't play that fast.
Let me actually drive away from Call of Duty and talk about another strategic shooter game, Overwatch. Now, Overwatch is kind of dead now, nobody really talks about it, and who knows when Overwatch 2 is going to come out. But when Overwatch 1 came out, it was huge. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was playing it, and everybody loved it. And the reason for that was because it was fun. And what made it fun? The strategic gameplay. You can't play Overwatch and, let's say, for example, take Soldier 76 and then just run straight onto the point. You gotta think, does the point have a Roadhog who's gonna hook me? Do I have to be on the lookout for Widowmaking snipers? Even if you play a character who's more rushdown like Genji or Tracer in Overwatch, you still had to think because Tracer can be countered by, let's say, a Torbjorn turret or a Widowmaker one-shot, even Ashe or McCree. Genji can be slowed down by Symmetra or deleted by a Torbjorn turret if he's not paying attention. You always had to think, which is what made Overwatch so much fun and so loved by the community. Granted, as I said, it died now because Blizzard kind of abandoned it, but that's what made the game fun. It was very strategic. And you have Call of Duty now, the newer CODs, and they're not strategic. As I said, they're just running around, holding down the trigger, spraying and praying, hope you get somebody. Granted, there's a little bit of strategy. Maybe you want to camp in a corner and wait for somebody to come through the door, but that's nowhere near the type of techniques and stuff you used to do in the old Call of Duties. That's why the new CODs, they're just not fun. That's why people get tired of it so quickly. People are getting tired of Cold War, and that game's only a few months old. Think back on, let's say, Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is still talked about today, still making referenced today. That's because it had such a huge impact because of the way it was played. Battlefield 2042 is coming out. Battlefield has been known to be a very strategic shooter game. It's already exploding, and it hasn't even been released, because people already know this is going to be the COD killer. At least they say it's going to be the COD killer, because the way Battlefield is, it's been so long since we had this kind of shooter game. So now that a strategic Battlefield game is coming out, everybody's talking about it, because the only shooter games that we've been having, at least the big ones, is stuff like Cold War, Modern Warfare Remastered, Black Ops 4, and those are just brainless, running around, spraying and praying, and that gets tiring over time. The old Call of Duties gave you less perks, less attachments, even less guns, but with what that limited supplies they gave you, you could have done so much more, and that's what made it just so much better. You can tell by just watching this gameplay, that the stuff I'm doing here and the stuff you see the people doing, camouflaging and all that stuff, you can't do that in Cold War. Well, if you like this video, punch that like button with a mighty force. Follow me up on Twitter at DavantosMan, and as always, I'll see all of you in the next video. Have a nice day.